I don't remember the last time I went to see a movie because I don't love going to the movie theater. But I'll tell you what, it pisses me off that I can't go see Barbie. I want to go see it, even if it is white feminism. I want to be able to go. So I'm doing a thing. And if you live in the Pacific Northwest, you can do a thing with me. Here's what it is. Next week, which is July 31st, August 1st, someday next week on a weekday, I am renting out a theater in Northwest Portland. The entire theater. The whole theater. The theater seats 46 people, I think. We're only going to do 20 tickets. So me and 19 other people. That's it. In addition to that, there will be one employee. So the entire building, the entire cinema, is going to be one employee plus 20 attendees. That's it. We are the only people in the building, and every single person, including that employee, is going to be wearing an N95 the entire time. The employee's going to put it on before they enter the building. They've been chosen specifically for this purpose. They seem to get it. If you show up because you bought a ticket, I need to see a KN94 well-fitted, or a 95 well-fitted, or a P100. And if I see a baggy mask, I'm going to tell you to take it off and put on one that I hand you. I'm holding onto a bunch of masks.
What if you show up naked but with a mask on?
There are no concessions during the movie. They're not even going to open it up. Do not bother bringing food or drinks.
I don't believe that for a second.
In the movie,
given this woman's
if you need to scratch
size?
your nose or you need to take a sip of water, you need to get up, exit the theater, do that, and then come back. They're going to be medically fragile people there. This is their first opportunity in like 3.5 years, so we are not fucking around here, folks. No kids that can't wear a mask solidly for 2 hours. Like, I'm not going to do little kids because I don't blame them, but it is what it is. This is going to be a morning showing. We are the first people in the building, so we will be in and out well before any other employees or other people show up for the showings. The building will have had a chance to clear the air from the night before. And also, they upgraded their filtration over the past 3 years, and they just had an inspection, June 26th, their quarterly inspection, and changed out all of their MERV filters.
That changes everything.
It's going to be $20 to $25 a person. All I'm doing is covering the cost. That's it. So I will refund any overages. It is a risk. I don't know how else to put that. It is definitely a risk to be in a building for 2 hours. Makes me anxious. But I feel like it's a measured risk and one I'm willing to take. And if there are more cautions that we could take, definitely let me know. But if you want to go, hit the comments, let me know, and I'll be in touch. I'll get in touch with you over DM, and we will make it work. I'm excited, I think, for Barbie. Did not expect to be saying that, right?
Wait, so, like, if it's a risk you're willing to take, but you're not excited about the movie, I'm confused.
It's a risk you're willing to take for Barbie.
But she's not excited about it because it's white feminism.
She talks like a Redditor.
confused.
She talks like for the last 3.5 years, the only human interaction she's had is through Reddit.
Yeah.
Also, you were specifically ticked off at her saying she's giving back the money once it becomes profitable. Like he said, you know, once we reach those overage costs, I'm giving back the money because I'm a fat weird communist.
It's something that happens
Also,
with people in crowdfunding where they have to prove their virtue by showing that they're not going to take any profit from something because they're fat weird communists.
Why exactly is this woman medically fragile? I do wonder.
I mean, life is a risk. Like, there's bigger risks out there than being medically fragile.
Yep.
I sympathize with that, but you're more likely to die getting in an accident all the way to that movie theater than you are to die from being in that theater.
Yeah.
She's going to be wearing her N95 strapped on tight as she drives there alone in her car.
I wonder if she will like check your mask to make sure it's tight.
Yep.
Probably.
She's acting like a boot camp instructor.
Yeah.
Next.
Ooh, just like
We're not
there's
fucking around.
There's a certain level of it's interesting that in an age where that level of delusion is possible because, you know, the media outlets and politicians spent the last 3 years scaring the living crap out of people.
The unbridled neuroses of women who don't feel safe in society.
Well, who have been battered with fear porn for the last 3 years.
I blame the algorithms for that.
Yeah.
Like and in all of this to see,
and of course it's in the PNW.
yes, she'll, you know, they'll get there and they'll have their Starbucks beforehand. They'll drink their overpriced coffee.
Huge frappuccinos.
I just
pink drinks that are making them huge.
I find it hard to believe that these people are real, but at the same time, I know that they are, and I understand that certain people are more fragile and are very, very. They submit easier to the propaganda that was fed to them.
Don't be all Mr. Nice Guy now.
I'm trying to rationalize how this happened.
You said you saw a picture of your friend for the first time in 3.5 years where he wasn't wearing a mask.
Yeah, and I was very happy
in an
for
outdoor
him.
place.
Yeah, I was very happy for him.
Did no one tell her that Joe Biden announced COVID was over?
She doesn't believe him. She doesn't believe him.
That's where
if
she
Bernie
draws the line
Sanders
and
had
thinks for
announced that
herself.
COVID was over, she would have been okay. But it's and
Justin Trudeau.
This lady has bumper stickers on her car, and they're all very, very snarky. I can guarantee you that. And what would be better, if I'm being honest, is I might actually go looking, like if this lady did a review for Barbie. Like, I want to know what her thoughts are on the Barbie movie. I do, and I want to know,
do a review.
And I would like to know what the hell white feminism is.
Well, it's interesting because she didn't want to watch it for that aspect of it.
White feminism is like what intersectional feminists called feminism that isn't intersectional.
Oh, is she saying that because of Margot Robbie being the main character, and she's saying it's like promoting white
and the director
feminism?
is a white woman. Yeah.
Oh wow, she's in deep.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying, like, once you get in that deep, once you get in that
Is
far,
there any
it's
hope
very
for
hard
someone
to
like
it's very
that?
hard to get out. And I have a little bit of empathy, but at the same time, I'm like, dude. Like, it's shocking to think that we live in a society that's that focused on safety. But at the same time, I guess you could make the argument that she's not bothering anyone else and she's doing it on her own. She's not going to the movie with her N95 yelling at people for not wearing one, I guess.
Yeah.
I still think she's a dork, but she's been abused by algorithms and computers that have told her.
I bet that movie theater employee who hounded me for bringing food in from outside the theater probably was a mask Nazi during the throes of the pandemic.
Yeah. Also,
that's why it pissed me off so much. Is it was done in the same tone as like, excuse me, where is your mask? Why is it below your nose? Yeah, that's what really got to me.
Yep. I mean, there was plenty of people when we went to see Barbie that had masks on.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
I saw a couple of people with masks on in the last two movies.
We need to just start publicly shaming these people. Be like, face diaper, ha 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 ha.
Oh, I did like this comment though. Somebody says, "Stop talking already. Shut up and take my money."
Like, wow, I'm so excited for this.
I just hope like one day Alex Jones accidentally pops up on her feed and her algorithm and just breaks her whole like system of
She probably already knows
and
who
just
Alex
wakes
Jones
her up.
is.
It wouldn't work. You'd have to start smaller than that. You can't just go no lube into Alex Jones.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
I feel like once like one part of the narrative is disproven, the rest of it starts to unravel. But Alex Jones is he's the advanced version.
It is interesting how women kind of became extremists on COVID in both directions. Like, they were attracted to both extreme poles on it, where they either thought the whole thing was a hoax or they went all in, like this lady, where you're like wearing your mask while you're alone in your car or alone in your house.
Well, it's interesting because it's like this woman is vulnerable to sickness in general, and you'd think that would inspire her to make changes to make her less vulnerable, but instead she's just honing in on this one thing because that's what her phone has told her to fear.
And it takes the onus off her. She doesn't have to make any changes, right? She doesn't have to say, like I said, I was watching Twisted Metal and the guy goes, "Fat doesn't correlate to health." Like we all know that that's not true. Everyone knows that's not true. There's a reason why there aren't a lot of old fat people. That's the way of the world. But unfortunately, journals have been edited in the last couple of decades, and activists have come for any type of research that promotes an idea to the contrary, and it allows them to live in their bubble and not make changes to themselves. It's like I said, like I had a friend who he got into this big back when I still used Facebook, where it's like they were talking about how food poisons you. The food at the grocery store poisons you, and somebody made the comment. They said, "Well, it's a sickness, it's a poison unique to people that are poor." And his point is basically, so it's still your responsibility to figure it out. You're an adult in the real world. It's your job to figure out what to do about that. Is it fair? No, life isn't fair. That's the number one phrase that's been killed by society in the last 2 decades is your parents when they're like, you're like, I want McDonald's for dinner. And they're like, well, you can't. You're like, that's not fair. I'm like, well, life's not fair. And that was what you heard. And that was the end of the discussion, because as much as your parents might not want to say that to you, and it might make them feel bad, it was a apropos lesson for the world you were about to enter. Life isn't fair, but they want to bend reality in the world to fit them. And now we have to go to so it's like an early morning Barbie screening. That's even worse. Like crack of dawn. You're like, oh
You
God.
have to set an alarm.
Feminism. Yes. Like you just have an alarm that plays a bunch of like Anita Sarkeesian videos when you wake up so that you can go see the Barbie movie. Like, no, that's a specific type of hell that nobody should want to subject themselves to.
It's a really depressing existence that this woman lives in. I don't think that anyone is even going to take her up on her offer.
I mean, the
craziest mask people have kind of retired that by now. It is August 2023.
Yeah.
Like, grow up.
I like the idea. She's like, look, I knew the people in this community were smart. Nobody came. I was like, she's like, nobody else was willing to risk it. I was the daredevil who was willing to risk it and go see Barbie with an N95 at 8 a.m. with one vetted employee.
So like, stunning and brave.
Like, did they find the employee and was like, I need to look through their social media feeds to see what they look like. So like, it's all like weird mask TikToks. It's like I need to see at least 5 videos of nurses dancing during COVID.
They did a COVID background check on the employee.
They followed them in their car to make sure they wore a mask
in the car.
In the car.
They're like I need to see at least 5 liked videos of nurses dancing during COVID. And
the bravest thing about this is she's not willing to eat for 2.5 hours.
Exactly.
That's crazy.
Which is sad too, because the whole reason I go to the movie theater out here is to get the food. That's literally the only reason.
cheesy fries.
I go for the fries.
They're
That's
good.
the whole reason.
And I go for the thrill of bringing contraband food into the
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.